Anyways, I have like, I wanted to let Thomas talk, but you were talking before, and it like sort of brought up something for me. It was like teachers separating their personal lives from the way they treat students, and that's been something I've been thinking about a lot this year because I spent the entire summer talking and like learning about student-teacher relationships and how it could be improved. Mm-hmm. And like looking back on it, it was never taken in consideration like personal dilemmas that teachers can go through. Like I know there are teachers in the school who are like, no kid likes them, and like, and I've been thinking, I'm like, it's like they're a teacher though. Like I've been like personally thinking about that, like of like them being a teacher in this system and like how they have to show up every day to a school that at times can be pretty tumultuous. Is that how do you say that word? Tumultuous.
I've never even heard of that word.
Volatile.
Tumultuous.
Yeah.
I know what. Yeah.
And like it's been on the one hand, I'm personally frustrated with my experiences with them, and then the other hand, I'm at the same time like trying to understand them, and like balancing those two is really hard. Yeah. Like a teacher will be like I'll submit an assignment, it doesn't get graded for 3 weeks, and I'm like, on the one hand, I need this grade so I can I don't know what my grade is right now. Do I need to shift my focus to this class or not? And then I'm like, well, they have a personal life, but on like the other hand, I need this grade. Like, it's such a weird situation to be in, to like be a student who like is trying to understand. Cause like then when you get in your head even more, you get even more frustrated because you're like, I hate that I even have to think about this. I just want my grade in.
Right.
And it's just like have you had any thoughts about that, like separating your personal life away from your students, like if you're having a bad day? Because I've personally seen that when teachers have a bad day, it gets taken out on students,
right?
And it's just like on the one hand they're having a bad day, but on the other hand we're 16 or 17. So
I mean, I think you like name the messiness all really well, and it's like, yeah, teachers are human. And like, yet at the same time, especially I'd say like older generations have been really like told that like you need to separate your beliefs, you need to separate how you think, you need to separate all this when you walk in the classroom, which doesn't really make sense, right? Like, why won't I live in my full humanity and be like, yeah, I'm going to make mistakes. Yeah, I might disagree with you like politically or socially or all those kind of things, but we can still see each other and still get along. Like, why am I just this like talking head person that's like, you know, delivering content in that way? But I think that is like really kind of old school thoughts of teaching, right? Like, or like if you watch movies, you like see they're all lecturing in the front of their room and kids are like silent. You know, it's just not real. So I feel like I've always been someone that shows up how I am, whoever, like I'm always the same person pretty consistently wherever I am. Sometimes like maybe annoyingly or inappropriately so, but like that's just what it is. And I think being really transparent about things and being like, hey guys, I'm having a shitty day because of blah, 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 helps so that like if I do lash out, you know, because that's real. I might lash out. Yeah. I think that's.
And I think it helps students too to like know that, to be like, they're having a bad day, so I'm not gonna like make that joke, or I'm just gonna like take a step back here, because then it allows for everyone to like, you know, be more aware of themselves and like of each other, so that if like teacher stays quiet and then that student says something that like pushes them over the edge, it'll cause a much bigger scene than the teacher just saying like, hey guys, I'm having a bad day. It's just gonna. So I think that's a super cool thing that, you know, you've done.
Yeah, and I think it's also like, as a student, don't you like also want to be able to say like, I'm having a bad day, right? And so like, why don't you lay off me today? Like, I think that's really real. And so how do you model that communication too as a teacher?
Yeah.
Have you, I guess you already talked about it. I was going to ask, have you always wanted to be involved in schools for a career? But you sort of discussed that already.
Yeah.
Like, was there any other like ambition? Like, you played a lot of sports. Was that something out there?
Oh
What sports
No.
did you play?
Yeah,
I
do you
don't-
want to?
So I did soccer, and I played that in college. And then I did track. I did the heptathlon. So, that's like a lot of the
What's that?
events. It's 100 hurdles, 200, 800,
Oh.
high jump, long jump, javelin, which I was actually really dope at because of all my like recess days as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing the ball. It's good. And then shot put, which I was just god awful at. I don't know what the deal is. I just like don't have
Yeah.
the arm strength or whatever it is. Yeah. It's a weird one. You always think you're going to throw it a lot further, and then it's super sad when it's like, poof, and it's like...
And it's like a weird, like, it's
Yeah,
like
you
a
catch
push.
it.
It's
Yeah.
not throw, you just, like,
Yeah.
give it a little, like, nudge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, little nudge.
Yeah.
And then I played ultimate frisbee
yeah.
in college, and then as an adult, I actually like captained a really competitive co-ed ultimate frisbee team for like 5 years, and then I quit because I had gotten a lot of concussions, but I was sick of like 35-year-old men being like really, really upset about adult frisbee, and I was like, you guys need to chill. Like, there's other things in life, or find a different career that gives you more satisfaction. So it was that was the move.
Mm-hmm.
But I think sport wise, like, no, and part of that is like being a woman, right? So just like what kind of like opportunities there were for me just really weren't there. Yeah. I wanted to be like a writer at some point, but then I just don't have the attention span for it. So I like would start writing something and get like 5 pages in, and I'd be like, okay, I don't care at all.
I
now.
do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
all the time.
it's the I need that.
And since we're on the topic of sports, I wanted to ask, like, I found that like I run cross country, and it like adds like mental kind of toughness that has like helped me a lot in like schools, like in like school and like life, to like push through, things that I might not have put as much effort into.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, are there certain like takeaways from like your sports that you've had that have helped you in like other parts of life?
100%. I think like there's so many things that are really important with sports. I think one is like building community and how important community is. But I'd also say just like determination. Like, there can be some people that are good at a sport naturally, but generally the people that are the best like have worked a lot on the outside of it. And we don't always see that. So like being an athlete and being able to like have put in my time and then get that payout has been like a really good experience for me to be like, okay, I don't get to just get things. I need to like work for them.
Next question. If there were 3 things you could change at St. Louis Park High School, what would it be and why?
Okay. You guys might hate me for this, but I would go I'd go block schedule.
Full-time
block schedule.
Oh,
baby.
God.
Yeah,
I have
hell yeah.
so many teachers who like have said that if they had to do a block schedule for one more week, they like have to like invest in like a like treadmill desk or something, because they just can't sit still. Like, not even students, it's been like teachers who like
why
said
are the teachers
that, like,
sitting?
no,
That's the real question.
they've like been like standing and like walking around, but like they feel like cooped up in like their rooms.
Funny.
Because like even like they can't leave their classes. Like the second one class ends, the next class comes rolling in, and so like we at least have passing time. They just have to stand in the room and teach.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of like really rule following teachers.
I don't hate block schedules per se.
I like it.
Like I like it like almost occasionally. Like if we had like block schedules like once or twice a month, I wouldn't care.
Once or
every
twice.
other
Twice
week.
a month is like
every
half
other
the month. Okay, like if half of the month
other week was block schedule.
Yeah, if every other week was block schedule, I wouldn't hate that. But it's just like it's also like I know Wyzetta, they've been at block schedule, and
Hopkins.
Hopkins was at
Hometown.
block schedule. I know Wyzetta is going to our type of system. They're going
they
to 7th
are?
period. Yeah, I don't know, but I think Hopkins is. I think I heard Hopkins is doing that as well. But I think it's because it's just burnout. Like you may have.
I think it's also cheaper actually to run. For some reason, running the 7-period day is cheaper than a block schedule.
I would imagine, yeah, because like there's more.
Like
I guess there's
pay.
more opportunities to get breaks, and then that's like sort of reduced pay or something. Like, do you guys get like? I guess I probably can't ask that.
You get paid by class, right?
Like, you're a teacher,
Yeah.
so you get paid like like you get paid this much. It doesn't matter how much work you do per se. Like, if that's my understanding.
So it's, I mean, yeah, it depends on how many classes you teach, but generally everyone is like full time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a 1.2, so I teach one more class than I need to, but I get more money then. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to add in then, like, what do you go full block where it's like block Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, third Thursday, and then something else, or like back in like 6th grade, they like had a block schedule where it was Monday and Tuesday were normal, and then Wednesday and Thursday were block, and then Friday was normal. What kind of block would you like?
Oh, I'd go full time. And I would either I'm open to the rotating days or just like doing it. So my high school did it where it was just a semester. So like you had the same class every day, but you had it for a semester long. So it would be like having history for just first semester. What's cool about that is that as a student, you guys only have like 4 classes to focus on. So you're not like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's what the other schools do. They have like 3 classes.
Right. Which feels a lot more manageable to me in that sense, work-wise.
I feel like it makes sense in like college where they do it, but in high school, I feel like I have 2 like things where one is my my language class, where like over the summer alone, I forget half the things that we've been doing, and so I feel like if you combine half the school year, she'd have to like basically teach the same thing every year, because it would just like slip out of people's minds.
Yeah, that's real.
And the second thing is like AP classes, where like it would be near impossible to like study for your AP test if your class ended in January, and it would be near impossible to like cram all the info in if you only had half the year in the.
I know, like for like language classes, they run it through both semesters, I believe.
Because it's the same way. Like you'll take the language semester 1 and semester 2 here. Yeah. It's just what gets cut down, I believe, are like for AP, like AP classes typically continue as well into second semester. Actually, no, that is right. No, they do all of it in one semester. They cram an entire year worth of thing in one semester. Yeah, that's right. I don't know how that works then, because I think that you would have to study.
You have to
later
study
on.
Yeah, and I feel like you'd forget a bunch of what you talked about, like in the 3 months between the semester ending and the AP tests.
That's real.
So I feel like there are benefits to it, and like that's why I think a bunch of colleges do it, and why it like works there, because it like lets them. There's no big AP tests that like are like mandatory on, May of this day every year. It's all up to the professor, and so they can choose to be like, hey, your test is going to be this time, and then you're done with my class.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like the college board just needs to change their ways. Yeah. That's what I hear.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, anyways, that was one thing. We got 2 more.
Oh, okay.
We kind of got sidetracked there, but.
Oh man,
not gonna
2
let you
more
off
things that I would.
That easy.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the block schedule's the dream, so it's hard. I mean, I would say like the room design, but I just got a sweet room, so I'm super into that. You know what I want though? Like I want a bunch of beanbags in my room. That would be my dream.
Yeah,
that'd be dope. Yeah. Okay. So beanbags number 2.
Yep. Beanbags is number 2. Okay.
Third thing to change. Oh, I think I would go with Friday no school.
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah.
What do you add?
Completely agree.
What do you like add to this? Like take time
It
off
would extend
of
to
summer break?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, like,
we're
in a
good.
perfect world,
Let's
but I
make
know,
it an
yeah.
asynchronous day, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it could be like this
Yeah.
cool, like, I'll still come
Asynchronous.
in, I'll still like do my stuff, right? But like, then students can come in and get help if they need to get help.
Yeah,
Students that are
that's
good
so-
don't need to, you know, like,
I'm gonna be fully honest here. Like, we haven't had a Friday in like a while.
I
That's
haven't.
And
We
I-
only had a Friday the first
So
week of
true.
January. I didn't even have a full week then because I was in Yig. So I have had 4-day weeks this
Yeah.
entire month.
and it's so, don't you
it
feel
hasn't,
better?
Yeah.
It like hasn't like
Right? Yeah.
done anything like bad to my like
That's what I'm saying.
attentions,
Let's
grades.
5-day,
Like
week
we're
is
still on track
full.
in like my
Yig.
classes.
MLK Day. Then we had a Friday off.
yeah.
Then we had the grading day, and now we have.
And now we have
this is gonna be the
this
Yeah,
first.
Friday
yes.
off, and like it's just like they have not been missed and they have not been needed.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
That,
well
that,
said.
that is all I'm saying.
I mean, I feel like the async days during COVID showed us, like, yeah, COVID wasn't great, but like,
Yeah.
I only taught classes twice a week, so I had to really think about like
Yeah.
what's actually important, and then
Mhm.
students could actually have time to like go do work on their own and like do catch up and do that kind of stuff. So we showed that we don't need to have 5 days a week.
And like I
Barbaric.
I don't know if it was 7th or 8th grade, but like they did Wednesday async days
Mhm.
for like every week, and
That
like
was
that
8th grade. Like they.
that
That
was
was
went-
COVID, right?
Yeah, we went
yeah,
wouldn't go to
full.
school.
We went
Mhm.
full
yeah
online for entire 7th
yeah
and
and
wait,
like
would it be 7th for us?
it would be our 8th grade year and the end of 7th grade. So
yeah,
like
end of 7th
Mhm.
grade, 8th grade year.
so
yeah,
like
that's
that
right.
allowed me to like get work done, and like I could never see my friends because of COVID and like all that
Yeah.
stuff, and like we got lunch on like every Wednesday and like went to the park to play catch.
Yeah.
And like that was like it was simple, but it was like something that we could do like outdoors so that it's safe
Mhm.
together,
Mhm.
and like it made a big difference to like my life during COVID. That was a huge like factor in like me
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
making it through, and I think that's a big
Mhm.
that would help a lot. And like I wake up at like 7:30 every day, and most of the people I know wake up a lot earlier
Mhm.
than that, and like I usually have like I go to church every Sunday morning, but like I have friends who like go to synagogue
Mhm.
Saturday morning, and like people who like have stuff at least one of those days.
Mhm.
And it's like I just never get to catch up on sleep
Yeah.
ever.
Right.
And like a bunch of my friends have it a lot worse. And
Yeah.
so it would allow like we'd be more productive and focused.
Right. Like
from
more time
having
to
a
like
day off.
more time to hang out, more time to play, more time to sleep, more time, like so much good mental health stuff. And I also guarantee that I would be a better teacher
Yeah.
if I had another day to plan.
Mhm.
And I think most teachers would say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Huh? Pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I know. There's a few schools who have done that for financial reasons because they can't afford.
Really?
Not like in a bad way. They got like cuts and stuff, and they needed to like cut a day in order to
Mm.
pay money. But like, I think that would like. I also wouldn't say that's too far fetched for Minnesota, to be honest. I
Really?
think that's like working with in that realm. I don't think that's too far fetched for Minnesota. The only thing I would think of that would stop that is national requirements, which might be the reason that could never happen. But I feel like at some point Minnesota could for sure pass like something could be async day, especially because that's
Yeah.
how the world is going. They're realizing that over COVID you can be way more productive at home,
Yeah.
at least for work reasons.
Yeah.
My mom works home full time, so
Yeah. My mom does like half. She spends like 3 days in the office and like 2 and like Monday, Friday at home,
Mhm.
and it allows her to like she says that the biggest thing for her is that she gets to walk the dog twice a week, and like that is like a great time for her to like that's the most important thing for her
Yeah.
is that she gets to walk the dog, because like it allows her to like calm down and like reflect a little bit and just
All more
time.
self-care.
Yeah, and
I think why it won't happen is childcare stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that we're
People-
in
yeah.
a 5-day system because families are like
families,
we want.
parents are
Yeah.
also in a 5-day system
I'm
at
sure there
their
could be like
jobs.
compensation for that. Like,
And like we could still like bring like people. I think that you could do it and like have parents still be able to like drop their kids off
Mhm.
if they needed to, and like have like a thing for like homework and like to like talk to teachers that they might need help
Right.
with, and
You
like
could, like,
maybe
be
just like
creative,
time to
right?
socialize, kind of a like kids place from back in like Susan Lindgren. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that they could make it work.
Like
but
I know
they don't
for
want to.
at least
I
high
like the dream.
schoolers.
Yeah.
Like I don't think necessarily parents would be opposed to like their kids staying at home. Like if it's high school, for example,
Yeah.
or even like even middle school potentially. But I know for elementary school we already offer, like, or sorry, I know for like pre-K or to kindergarten they offer like stuff at the district office right down there where kids can be dropped off there and they're supervised for the entire day. But I think high schoolers, the parents wouldn't care if they stayed at home for
Mhm.
a day. Middle schoolers, I would imagine like something like Kids Place, but like that's really hard to get on a statewide level. But yeah, I think that.
Okay.
But yeah, all right. Next question. You sort of talked about this, but I guess just to confirm it, was a niche or favorite hobby of yours? I'm assuming it's like sports, like would be something
Like,
along those lines.
Other than sports,
Yeah,
like
other than sports.
Just
like a more like something that like if like people looked at you, they'd be like just
She
like
tap dances.
not like
what?
or like she knits. Wow,
Oh,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
Like
right. You wouldn't know that I knit. Yeah, I feel like I'm really predictable. And I was gonna say biking, but I guess that's a sport. Kind of.
you can be
Like it's
You
active,
can be
not
predictable.
active
You
stuff.
can
What's
be
like
a little
something
Not
predictable.
active. Okay, I am really good at watching TV. Like I
oh yeah.
can binge watch shows like it's no
Like it's
thing, and I don't really know because I feel like I go to bed really early and everything. But I can
But you
put
can
back a
make 'em-
show.
What's your favorite show?
I mean, I can't say that because it's just like whatever show
Do you
I'm
like
watching.
do you,
Love them all.
do you rewatch shows a lot?
I do rewatch some shows. Like there's some that are like comfort food. Like
Yeah.
it's having like a
What's the show that you watched the most, if you had to pick one,
Oh,
or like
man.
guess if you had to guess?
What would you guys guess?
The Office.
I watched The
Yeah.
Office the
Young and
most.
the Restless.
I know it's like a cop
What was
out,
it?
but like
Young and the Restless.
Oh yeah, well, it's totally no.
I've definitely watched The Office
Young and
quite
the
a few times.
Restless. My grandma watches that.
Yeah.
My mom used to watch it. It's like 50 seasons.
Yeah, it's like 60 seasons. Of
Is that
just-
the vibe I give off? Is the yeah?
a little bit.
You give
Like,
off
you
like,
could, like-
young and like
like, it could be,
restless
like-
vibe.
like a Wednesday night. You pour yourself like a Pinot Noir.
Oh,
Sit on the couch.
he even knows the wine. Look at that.
and have
Oh,
a red Baron pizza,
Yes.
and then
God.
a little
How
wine.
does-
Just
like
I
my
feel so
mom.
seen.
It sounds like my mom.
she listens to me. She's gonna hear that.
My
Oh,
mom,
God.
my mom would make a Negroni. To be honest,
No,
that's the
Negroni's
difference.
good too.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
But
Tastes like medicine. Yeah, I would say The Office or Parks and Rec have been
That's-
the
I love
ones.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
The
is-
Office, Parks and Rec, and
Ron Swanson.
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Nine-Nine
Nine-Nine,
are the
yeah,
like
Ron
three
Swanson.
shows
I
that I've
haven't watched
definitely
Brooklyn
watched the
Nine-Nine.
most.
Yeah.
I haven't
Wow.
watched Brooklyn.
You
Nine-Nine.
haven't. No.
I just see like
It's a
little clips
it's a
on
good
like
show.
Instagram reels or TikTok of like the show, and I start laughing. Yeah,
I
probably
like
should
it a
watch
lot. It's a good one.
I'm too busy.
If you haven't seen it, I definitely.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Okay, I feel like one more big question is
I have
do you want to do yours?
You want to do too? It's fine. We're at.
I have one.
Okay, you can go ahead. I have one too. We gotta do
Is
this.
that you talked at the beginning and like in the middle, just like a lot about how like you came here because of like racial equity that like we've been kind of striving for and that we like talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, like, do you think we've done a lot to like live up to like our have we like walked our talk? And like if not, what kind of steps would you like try to make here. Do you think that's a bad question, Jaden?
No, I think that's a good question.
I can see you smirking.
answering. Me and Finn were answering.
I was answering in my head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was answering
No,
in my
me
head.
too. Me
You guys
too. Me
answered
too.
it out loud. I would say, okay, it's like a hard. I would say yes and no. Tell you why I say yes first is that when I look at other schools, and so like work, like the people that I work with, kind of, or I'm friends with outside of school, and just my own experience at other schools, we're definitely more like open about talking about racial equity, and like more thoughtful than a lot of schools. Not every school, but then a lot of schools. And I would say that's about it. And that's where I struggle with. There is like a lot more actual action that needs to be done. And I think like a lot of times SLP's got their hands tied in some way of like trying to be radical, but trying to please everyone. And like, if you look historically, you can't be radical and please everyone. That's like, that isn't going to work. Instead, that's going to make like very small changes, and it's going to make like essentially white families really happy.
Yep.
But also not actually do much difference. So I think that there's been chances, and I think we haven't taken them up. Yeah.
And then the last question is what's the word? It's like for thinking deeply about tumultuous questions.
Like
no, I had the word for it.
retrospective or like
It's like like you really think deeply. Anyways, it's what
Introspect-
keeps you up at night.
Oh,
Like-
that's a question.
Yeah,
What keeps me up at night?
Yeah.
The world ending, for sure.
Specifics.
You know, like, I think it's been since I was, like, little, where I'd be like, man, everyone's just gonna, like,
Die.
bomb each other.
Yep.
Yeah. And I still think about that. It's real. Now it's climate change, so it's good.
well, because if you don't mind me asking, like, what year were you born?
1989.
Okay, so like coming off the like whole Cold War and all that jazz.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't really know much about it in the 90s, but I did know about the atomic bombs somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely what coming up, though.
And there's still, I think, like, I mean, it had been over for like,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, there was still a lot of like stigma, and there still is to be honest. But like, there was still like the Red Scare and like all that jazz. So
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's it.
Ooh, so maybe it's just my history.
Even
Yeah.
if parents don't think that, or like parents, teachers, you know, adults don't think that they're like just outright saying it, like, I feel like they still end up implying a lot of things that they might not have like known that they were saying.
So I need to talk to my mom.
And like,
Keep
well, I'm
messing
just saying,
up.
kids pick up on like more than parents think, and
Yeah.
like if the whole world thinks the world's about to end, then like I feel like kids would pick that up too. But
We never talked about that. We got Chipotle. I'm just realizing.
oh yeah,
Oh wait, I had one other thought
It was busting.
that keeps me up at night.
Oh, yeah.
It's that I don't understand how like something like space can go on forever. Like, how can something not have an end?
how
like
can anything like
that's
Or just how
wild.
large it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, like, but it's, like-
but like
I think I
Yeah,
watched
what does
something. I
infinity
watched something. It was like they put Earth down like 1 to like the 16th like quintillion like of a ratio, and it's like the size of like a pea. And then I'm pretty sure like the universe is like closer to the size of like Jupiter or the sun, like how it is now. Like it's unreal.
and that's not even like everything in like
It's
space.
stuff.
That's just the universe. That's
I-
just like
That's like the observable.
yeah.
Yeah, for a while before I got into the career I'm in now, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. So I learned a lot about space, and it just sort of sits in my brain for no reason.
Can you just like come tell me facts randomly during the day?
Oh, yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Just like anytime you think of it,
Absolutely.
just find me.
I still watch like Neil deGrasse Tyson and
I
stuff
mean,
like that.
as you should.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that stuff a lot too. I take a more I think after a while, when you hear about it enough, you could become numb to it. Like you also can't understand how big the universe is. It's you cannot understand.
Or like
it.
another thing is
Like
like
my brain will not allow
it,
me.
it
cannot
can't even
process.
comprehend it. Or like light years, for instance. Like you might be looking at a star when it was 500,000 years ago.
Right. Yeah. That's so wild.
Which is crazy because like it's there, but it's not there.
Yeah.
Like there's light out in the universe right now when the dinosaurs were here.
Yep.
That's true.
So like, if you somehow
That's so
manage to like get,
But it makes me want to throw up.
if you manage to get a like, I'm gonna come a little closer so that I can be heard. If you like manage to get a like super powered, you know,
Telescope.
well like airplane or like not airplane, like
Spaceship.
rocket ship,
Spec- yeah.
spaceship that can like travel like that much times the like speed of light, and a like super powered telescope and like fly that far out and like look back on Earth, you would see the dinosaurs, and that's crazy to me.
Dang. That's so wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a great way to end
see
it.
the
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
You're gonna take your Chipotle with you?
Yeah, I am.
I ate my burrito.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us today.
Yay, thanks guys.